English.
Shush. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Adam Kitt and Noel Fielding coming to you live on Facebook and on YouTube.
And simultaneously with our brand new kick-in software. Pretty impressive.
I'm digging it. I'm glad we kept shopping around, and
Thank you, Zoom, for introducing us to this kind of stuff and being there. Very cool. Right now, I'm pretty impressed with this new one. Folks, as you can see, we've got some cool graphics, a little bit different. We don't get to import just anything we want quite as easily. We could do green screens if we want, but you get to see the title of the show, Power of the Sun. That being said, we have a great guest coming on in about 10 minutes.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. We are happy Monday. Is it Monday already? Right, it's Wednesday.
It is.
It's shelter in place. Time suck.
Yes.
Like the calendar doesn't matter anymore.
What calendar?
Exactly. That's the whole
What
thing.
is this calendar you speak of? And I go to bed and wake up like anytime I want.
It's really
There's
crazy.
no rhyme or reason.
I wonder if anybody else have the same problem. In fact, I don't even wonder. I know that everybody is experiencing this weird schedule funk. We don't have to go to work on time. Most of us don't, at least, and all that. It's just crazy.
So, hey, tell me, are you going to put those kittens on your tax return this year? Are they dependents?
I don't know. It may.
It's starting to feel that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, people. Adam still got two. Maybe if you brought in a picture of the kittens.
If I threaten to give away these cats, I may be disowned from my daughters at this point.
So they're not watching the podcast?
I doubt it.
They don't know you're trying to get them out over the internet?
So we've got this loft upstairs where they're at, and they're saying, we can just keep them upstairs, Daddy. And I'm like,
kids and their solutions. Oh, man,
right?
it's the best.
So I don't know. We have, cat killing dogs in the house. I don't know how this is going to work, but whatever, right?
Well, they're going to be delicious at some point.
Speaking of delicious.
So I got the opportunity to cook for some friends last night, and I made a recipe. I like when I find favorites and coming back to them and revisiting them, and I just hit a few different things. So this is I'm doing like a big shrimp. So I went to Costco and I got their really big, colossal shrimp. They were awesome.
So jumbo shrimp.
Yeah. Or what's the difference between a shrimp and a prawn? The size. I bet you it has something to do with the size.
And the name.
Yes. Prawns don't like to be called shrimp. They don't want to be confused with that. Right. They have gang wars. And the prawn sign is more like this, right? Whereas the shrimp sign is more like, hey, man. Okay. Anyway, so I'm doing these big prawn shrimpy things and like a scampi, right? So it's garlic, shallots, butter, a little olive oil. Got to have the butter for the creaminess. And then I hit them with some white wine, flash them, get them done. And folks, if you're cooking shrimp, less is more. Do not overcook your shrimp.
Nobody likes rubber shrimp.
In fact, if they're not quite done, they're done. Pull them out, send them to the side, and then I'm going to expand on that sauce. So I went and did a little bit more garlic, a little more butter, a little more olive oil, and render those shallots down a little bit, get them nice and soft. And then I put in about a little bit more than a cup of heavy cream. And I get that kind of going. And then I add about a third a cup of some white wine. Nothing fancy. You're cooking it all off anyway. But I took one of the big things of shredded Asiago, and I just sprinkled that in, got that, and watch your temperature. If it's too hot, everything's going to burn. So it's got to be just enough. You got the little bubble going on and stuff like that.
And for those people tuning in from Rio Linda, Asiago is a kind of cheese. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, so is there a thing in Rio Linda where they don't understand what Asiago is like?
It's a Rush Limbaugh thing.
Okay.
He's been picking on the people from Rio Linda for like 2 decades. So
wow. Well,
yeah.
I think the people in Rio Linda probably pick on Rush a little bit. So maybe it's mutually, it's working out for them. Anyway, and that cheese really boils down. I just whisk it a few times and it melts down nicely. And I've got several cups of this homemade scratch, white wine Alfredo sauce. Oh, and there's lots of lemon in there too. And I throw in some capers, and then I'm just taking my spinach. My pasta's done. I did nice linguine, and I throw in spinach. I put in 2 big bushels of spinach, and it renders down so much. It wilts down to tiny. You can't. You're eating like this much spinach, and it's all tiny and stuff like that. It was really good. Then I whisked it all together, put the shrimp. Shrimpy prawns on there, and boom, and it was fantastic. Five stars.
You just call them shrimpy prawns. So were they? I don't know.
Shrimpy prawns.
Well, it sounds amazing, and I think we should have a separate segment just for like cooking stuff, right? Start another channel,
I have leftovers.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's for after the show. That's for after the show, people. All right. Awesome. Oh, dude, you can smell it too. Yeah, it's good. Okay. All right. So,
well, listen, we, I think I'm so excited to have Chris Moran here today with solar negotiators and solar maintenance pros. We got a lot to talk about. I want to bring him on just a couple minutes early so that we can get everything out of Chris that we want to do. And so yeah, we're gonna bring him on here. We haven't tested his mic and camera yet, but I see him ready to go. Hey.
Okay. Okay.
Unmute your mic.
Oh, the old you're muted, Chris. We can't hear you.
Chris, we can't hear you.
Hey, and that looks like a Death Star panel right next to you. That's
oh yeah,
kind of a cool background.
Customers really like this one. My right hand's the left. Oops, got a fist on your right there. Exactly. How you guys doing today?
We are awesome. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
You are welcome. So, real quick, 30-second bio. Who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, I'm just a local boy here from the Central Valley. Started a small solar company about 10 years ago after some service in the military, and kind of got into the right industry at the right time. We kind of a unique approach in the industry with our business model with long-term maintenance and such included. We've got a great team of local employees that help customers around the Central Valley with solar investments and asset management. And beyond that, I'm just a dad and a husband, and live right here in Northwest Fresno.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And a little secret that most people probably don't know about you that I happen to really appreciate is
What's that?
You are an amazing singer.
Oh goodness, I sing "Happy Birthday" once or twice a year. I
forget. Come on,
once a year.
You're too humble.
Oh, thanks. No, well, you're quite the singer. What's amazing about your voice is that you can sing bass or tenor. That's an impressive. That's an impressive.
Everything in between. So
there you go.
yeah.
Thanks for the
getting him to be quiet is.
My wife tells me the same thing for sure.
So it's something all you singers have in common. I get it.
She says, I love hearing you sing whenever it's planned ahead of time, but when you just do it at random, it's a little much.
So my father had this thing, and he would sing everything. He would see a stranger, and he would make up a song about him, and it stuck. I'm a horrible singer, but I sing about the most random, dumb stuff. I'm singing to my cat in the morning. Cat's got food. Yes,
you know, sometimes music's just in your blood. You know, you can't help it.
Absolutely, amen to that. So we wanted to bring you on because as real estate agents, we deal with homes that have solar and don't have solar. We run into customers say, should I get solar? If so, what should I get? And so we wanted to make sure that, we brought you on as a friend and obviously an industry expert. So that we talked a little bit ahead of time, 3 big questions that people want to ask. Does solar add value to my home?
Sure.
What do you think about that?
So that's a question that has slowly started to crystallize over time. It's taken some time for appraisers to really understand the value, and then the realtors themselves, helping their customers understand. Okay, what is this solar system really going to do for you? And so, when it comes down to it, the way I look at it is, how much is this solar system going to produce each year? And if it's owned by the home, it's not like a lease or owned by a third party. If it's owned by the home, free and clear, then it's going to produce so much per year. And a really simple way to kind of mentally ask yourself that question is, if it's going to produce, let's say, 10,000 kilowatts in a year, maybe that's a 25 panel solar system, and the utility company charges 25 cents per kilowatt. That's $2,500 per year of power, of value. And so the homeowner can count on that amount of annual avoided cost of electricity. And then we can look at some other factors, but I would say that an average size solar system will add somewhere between $7,000 and $12,000 range to a single family home of average size. And there are people who will argue with me on that, but the value of that power within a few years will gobble up that cost there. So it's a tough question, because the appraisers might have one answer and a solar guy might have another answer. And I like to put it right into numbers. How much is that system going to save me, and for how long?
Absolutely. So for me personally, I come from the appraisal field before I got into real estate, right? And what's super frustrating as a realtor is that Fannie Mae really hasn't come up to speed in providing appraisal guidelines for how to properly evaluate and add that tangible value to a home. You and I can both crunch the numbers. We can say, hey, look, we know here PG&E charges this much money, and we know the solar system is going to create this much. So there's a savings there that should be a very tangible value added feature,
Correct.
Would that affect, though, on a sliding scale of sorts based on the age of the system?
Absolutely. And for us, as a maintenance company, we get called out to come out and assess systems that are, existing, and they need a third party objective. And we actually have a form. We call it a value opinion or a realtor audit. What we do is we send a senior technician out to look at every aspect of it, just like a home inspection. They're taking pictures, they're testing the wires, they're making sure everything works. Then we have kind of a formula. Now, it's an internal formula, but we feel it's based on industry standards, if you will. And that formula includes degradation for the age of the system. It includes what would a similar system, be priced at in the current market, before subsidies. What would the cash cost be? What's the annual production of the system, and how much of it is under a warranty, whether it's the manufacturer warranty or a contractor who installed it warranty. And we take those factors and we give an opinion. We're not appraisers, so we can't call it an appraisal, but we can say, here's our value opinion of how much we think the cash value of that solar system is worth.
That's fantastic. And you guys charge for that service?
We do.
Transaction?
We do. It's about a $300 cost, but we also have kind of a preferred partnership arrangement with realtors where
Okay.
their customers can get a little bit of a discount.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So for all the realtor friends out there, something to keep in mind.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, when you're doing your valuation, it's one thing and then to go and be able to add to that and say, because you have this type of system,
Sure.
we can say your value is not 350, it's more like 375 or whatever.
And what I like to tell customers who are about to pull the trigger on solar, when they're saying, well, if I go to sell my house in 7 years, how much can I, tell the buyer it's worth? I would say, well, that's going to be a little bit subjective from certain perspectives. But if you keep that power bill, that summer bill from before you went solar, and then you show them the $0 bill, true up annual bill, or just the $10 minimum charge, and they can see that there used to be $600 power bills in the summertime, and now they're at zero, it at minimum can be a very compelling and very appealing factor when they're looking at that decision.
Yeah, I've always felt, and you tell me if this is a fair assessment, when I'm talking to someone, because they will ask us our professional opinion and what is that going to do to me? And I said, listen, I run my place at 70 degrees in the summertime. You may not be that way. So our usage is going to vary greatly, and it's going to impact what kind of savings you're really seeing.
Yep, I've seen 1,500 square foot houses have $1,000 bills, and I've seen 4,000 square foot houses have $150 bills. So it really depends on the house and the family and the usage habits for the family that lives there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many factors like shade,
right?
And the positioning of the home.
Yep.
The quality of the insulation and the windows and the energy efficiency of the structure itself. I mean, there's so many.
Right. Even the location of a bedroom. Like if your master suite is in the sunny side of the building getting hit, you're cranking that air, baby.
Oh,
At
yeah.
least I am.
Oh, yeah. Huge factors. Huge factors.
Absolutely. Well, that kind of leads us into the next segment. So when we're in a transaction, and let's say we're representing the seller, and they have a solar system they've purchased, but they have a loan on it,
right?
Or some sort of a debt involved.
Sure.
Are there any issues that you've experienced with transferring solar systems that have debt?
That's a great question. Most solar system financing options, and we're talking about owned systems that are purchased with a loan as opposed to a lease mechanism or a third-party owned system. But if you're talking about a purchase with a loan, most of those do have a UCC1 filing on them. So there is that debt, and it can't just be you can't just pay off your house without paying off that loan, because you have to clear the title up, right? And so oftentimes many of those programs can be easily transferred. And what's nice is that the credit score minimum oftentimes aligns very closely to the minimum credit score needed for a mortgage, right around that 640 kind of range. So someone who can get approved for the mortgage can likely get approved for the transfer. There are exceptions. Some of the smaller financing options don't have that transfer option, but it is more common than.
Very cool. Very cool. So they can assume the loan.
They can oftentimes assume the loan. What's interesting though is what can happen is that the solar finance company may be fine with the transfer, but the mortgage finance company may not want to subordinate. They may not want to. They may want a completely clean title. So you can run into a contradiction or a conflict between the two entities, the two finance.
Does the solar company typically, are they okay with being in second position?
Yes, they are all absolutely. There are very few people go use like a home equity line to finance a solar system. They use a direct solar financing, the same kind of loan they would use to build a pool or a patio deck or something like that.
Yep. Very good. So give me your elevator answer to, so Chris, why is solar such a sound investment?
There you go. Well, in this area, most people don't realize that 1/3 of all the solar in the United States is installed in the PG&E and Southern California Edison territories. 1/3 of all the solar in the United States. And the reason for that is Exactly. We have the highest per watt utility rates in the country. We have a lot of heat, so people have to run the air conditioners. We have the best sun exposure available for that. And we have residential property values that justify an investment of this size. The last thing is, if you're going to be in your house for, let's say, 10 years, and your average power bill is $250, that's $3,000 a year. So 10 years from now, you will have given the power company at least $30,000. And you've got nothing to show for it other than the light switch still works. Well, the way solar is constructed and the combination of factors, without getting too deep and too boring, is that if you're either paying cash for your solar system, you'll recover roughly 40% of your cash in the first year. 26% from a federal tax credit, which is real money. As long as you pay taxes, that's real cash. And then your first year of electric savings. And then by the 5th year, you've recovered all of that investment through avoided cost of power. And then you're free and clear. If you want to finance your system, there are options for 10, 12, 15, 20-year options where I can put a solar system on a house for $150 a month. I eliminated a $300 power bill, and that monthly $150 is only for 10 or 12 years. So I'm saving them money immediately. It's money that would have gone to PG&E anyways, because you got to keep the lights on. And then someday it's paid off and you're free and clear. And the California regulatory rules protect the investment, so the utility company has to give you full credit for the power you push to them. And those rules have been in place since the 90s, and they're set to not expire until 2030s. So that's the reason why it's such a sound investment.
That is fantastic news. So for everybody out there listening and tuning in, if you don't have solar, you probably ought to.
So, Chris, what would you say to someone who may not be planning on residing in their home long enough to recapture that initial investment?
If you're going to be in your house for only 2 or 3 years more, and that's like a known fact, I'd say don't do it. If you're going to be in the house for at least 5 or 6 years minimum, I'd say that's your break even kind of, it's right on the line. You're likely going to recover your investment, and then you might have a more appealing sale for your buyer 5 years.
Right, an easier sale and some added value to it. So you're getting a gain. Okay.
Exactly.
So in that, as soon as that 4th, 5th, 6th year comes around, you're probably at a make sense point. Even if you were leaving, you get that return on the investment.
Absolutely. And I would say new home buyers should do it immediately. They just moved in. They didn't buy the house to move 2 years later. It's very unlikely, right?
Not very many, that's for sure.
So if you just moved in, you might as well get started immediately, because the more months of power bill you pay, it might as well be if you pay $300 in power bill, it might as well be adding $300 to the cost of your solar system every month you wait.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a super side question. Maybe we can have a discussion about this some other time, but the general plan for California is requiring all new construction homes to come with solar.
Yep.
And a lot of times they're not very good.
No, they're not enough. And the formulas they use, the equation they use, oftentimes is not sufficient. And this is going to sound crazy, coming from a solar guy, but putting solar on every individual house is the least efficient way to go solar for the state of California, because you have individual tiny systems that are all connected to the same grid. You might as well just clear a field in every neighborhood, put one big ground mount system that's a community use solar system that feeds that community, instead of 10, 15, 20 years from now, people having to worry about panels on their roof and things like that. But it's a crazy world we live in, and this is the system we have.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to get everybody on the same page and certainly do anything cohesive and comprehensive that's going to make sense for years and years to come. We're just not that smart yet, nor will we probably ever be. So I had a couple of questions I had thought about when Adam said we were going to be lucky enough to have you on. Tell me a little bit about the technology, how it's improved over the years. My brother, and he's so happy. He was one of those early thinkers. He got a nice big system on his place. I think it's about 17 years ago. Still performing for him. So he's been, but how has that technology improved since then? And what's the future look like for the technology?
Great question. So this panel on this side of me that you can see, that black panel, that's actually 9 years old. And even though panels today can look a lot like that one, that panel was only 220 watts. The same size panels today, 9 or 10 years later, are kicking out 320 to 370 watts.
Wow.
So that's about a 50% increase. And it has improved even more so than I thought it would over time. They've really, but eventually it will plateau. There's only so much you can squeeze out of that silica and that reaction. So the efficiency and the reliability has really greatly improved. The manufacturing processes have improved. So longevity of the panels have really gone a long way. But there's a solar cell under a lamp in the Smithsonian that was made in the 70s, and it's actually still creating a trickle charge. So it tells you that decades can go by and the silica within the cell can still actually create that electricity. So it's a great technology as long as it's deployed the right way.
I've had these, I'm kind of a science fiction nerd, if you will. And I've had these ideas. I have all kinds of interesting ideas. Like you know the WeatherTech cup holder for your cell phone?
Oh, yeah.
I actually designed that, but they were smart enough to patent that.
There you go.
And I just never got a I have my prototype in my car.
He made it himself. He cut the hole and fit it just right.
It's great. Anyway, but I've imagined solar panels looking a lot like the tile on a roof, where you'd be able to plug them in, replace a dead one, and even as newer ones, better ones come out, easily swap them out. Is that something the future could hold?
It could. There are a few basic problems with that, and I won't go too deep in my response. Tesla came out with some solar tiles, and the problem was they really for 210 yuppies down in Southern California, because they're just not, the cost effectiveness is not there. Another reason is solar really, the panels, you want airflow underneath them. It actually helps cool them. And so when you look at long term, as aesthetically improve, as an improvement, it looks nicer. It's not as functional, and it's not just mounting them on a nice clean racking system with a few inches of that airflow makes all the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard about the epic fails of solar pavement.
Yeah.
Flop,
Oh yeah.
Crazy. So any industry changing things you see in the works in the future?
What's really going to happen is you're going to see a lot more battery storage. That's really the next generation. And what most people don't realize is one of those Tesla batteries, as capable as they are, they can only back up so much on your house. And so when people go, what do you mean I can't back up my air conditioner? It becomes a surprise. You could spend $50,000 and be grid independent, but it's not really, it doesn't pay for itself the way solar does. It's really a very expensive toy, unless you have a medical condition where you need like a CPAP machine that always has to be on or something like that. But beyond that, there's only so many rooftops to put solar on. Eventually the penetration will be, really at a saturation point, and it'll become management. That's why for us, we really wanted to make sure we could help customers manage these assets long term. That's been our focus.
Fantastic. What about solar and the smart home?
Absolutely. Well, energy management is also, you're spot on. That's the next generation, is not just production and usage, but when am I using my power? What's pulling my power? Can I shift it to a time period where it's less expensive? And monitoring, because if you're only looking at, let's say, solar production, you're missing the other half of the equation, which is the consumption side. And so it's just like credit monitoring 20 years ago was not as common. Now everyone has at least one Credit Karma or something, right? Solar.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So we actually did a segment a few weeks ago. Actually, we were talking about the FICO score, and credit worthiness, and things like that. How to get qualified for a loan, and all those. The national average credit score is right at 700.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Which I think is probably a large improvement over the last 15 or 20 years.
people are more aware of it. And I think it's one of
Exactly.
the feel good things. You want to work on it personally, and you feel better about it the higher it gets. So people take a personal interest in it, and they're just more aware of its importance.
Absolutely.
It's been certainly an interesting change. I was in the mortgage side of it for many, many years. And boy, people did not know. And it was a mystery,
Yeah.
right? That no one knew how it worked. It was like it was like Oz sitting
Right.
behind the curtain,
Right.
just
Yeah.
tinkering with everything. Well, Chris, this has been super informative and great stuff. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. This has been fun. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you're certainly welcome. Send us out with a little plug.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me
Nice.
see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. There we go.
That's awesome.
How can they get a hold of you and your company?
You guys can find us online at solarnegotiators.com or solarmaintenancepros.com, or you can call us at 844-OWN-SOLAR.
844-OWN-SOLAR. Thank you, Mr. Chris Moran.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
See you around.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was super, super awesome. What a great bunch of information. You know what I think I love most about that interview is he's just very clear about the facts, right?
Yeah.
You don't no one's selling you on anything. He's going to tell you if you're buying something that you don't need to buy or if it's not going to work for you. I know it's hard for the salesman because that is their job to sell systems, and that's what they get paid to do. So it's probably harder for them to always come out and say, yeah, man, this just is not going to be that beneficial to you.
Listen, and from my experience with Chris and his company, they're not going to tell you something that's not going to work for you. It doesn't make sense. And so highly recommend giving them a call if you have questions about solar. They're going to shoot straight and really break it down so it makes sense for you.
So we have still been, despite our love of our podcast and how much fun it is, and I enjoy it immensely, it does have a purpose for us and our clients. So we've got some new clients. Congratulations to Kathy on getting into escrow on her place. She's a buyer we're representing, and that's pretty exciting. I've been telling you guys a little bit about this 2-bed, 2-bath unit, 5207 West Warner. I'm going to go click over and show you guys this property. We've got some neat pictures. It is tenant occupied, so it is by appointment only, but it's sharing is share screen. Okay. So it is absolutely necessary that we get in there and get an appointment made for you. And we're going to do that. Boom. Share that. Okay. And we should be saying, there you go. This is 5207 West Warner Avenue in Fresno. It's priced at $221,900. Again, it is by appointment only. But it's cute. The roof was just looked at. It's in very good condition. There's nothing wrong. This is largely move-in ready. Anything you're going to do to this place, you're going to be doing because you want to do it. There's a nice picture of the kitchen. It's very clean. I think that kitchen would pop so nice if you just put some brushed nickel hardware on there, Adam.
Sure.
Nice open living room. A little bit of a vaulted ceiling at that slant. Plantation shutters on those windows. Really, really clean. This is the second bedroom. They're using it just as a baby's room. Hall bathroom. Now the hall bath, that's just a tub. It is not a tub and a shower. which would be a pretty easy upgrade, I think. Master bedroom.
There's got a nice walk-in closet and a big bathroom there.
Big bathroom, yeah. Tub and shower. And at 221.9, this is great. This is going to be super affordable as that first.
Really great location too in Northwest Fresno. I've heard it in Polk. Super good location. So very close to the freeway, close to all that new shopping that's out there.
Yeah, and it's a great starter home. Or if you wanted to use it as an investment property, it's certainly fitting as an investment. In fact, there is a tenant in there, so if you're looking for that investment home, this is something that's already performing and in good shape for you. So let us know if there's something, if we can get you in for a visit on this, and we'd love to get that shown to you. What's happening with our property on Fairmead?
Fairmead, we've got a lot of activity. We did receive an offer. Not sure if it's going to be accepted or not, but it is still available. Yeah, it's a nice little piece of the American dream out there. Full acre of land, small house that could be fixed up for $159,900.
Awesome. Now our property in Gilroy, although seeing a lot, they're in Santa Clara, their showing restrictions were really tough. I mean, even when we went out there at that time, all the stores were shut down. You couldn't get in without a mask on. But it's lightening up. You can see it, and we can get you in there. We have an agent that's cooperating with us out there, our friend Frank. And so if you need a showing on this, we can certainly book it for you. And if you don't have a local agent, then we'll get Frank to go out there with you and get you in and give you a full tour. Let me just see if I can pull that listing up for us. Navigating.
Allergies are digging in deep their last couple of days.
That's no fun. Let's go. All right. Share that. All right. Here's the Williamsburg property. And this is really a nice condo. It's got balconies off both bedrooms. So it's basically one master bedroom with an ensuite, but the other bedroom is super big. In fact, they have the same model that has that second bedroom just split in two. Look at all the mature grounds in this condo complex. It reminds me of mine downtown, in downtown Fresno. Pool and spa, well maintained. There's a bunch of solar panels over that swimming pool right there. Look at how you talked about them being put together in one area and making a lot of sense. So there's their nice recessed lighting in their kitchen. Beautiful. Nice updated appliances, updated countertops in the kitchen.
Yeah, I love the flow of this place. It's really neat. You walk into a nice big foyer, you got garage access to the right. This little powder room that he just showed is on the lower level. You walk upstairs, a little loft, nice big tall ceilings, and then two bedrooms to either side of the house with a hall bathroom. And it's really, really neat. This is the master bedroom we're showing here. There is a slider on that wall with a balcony overlooking a beautiful backyard. Yeah. You can keep going.
There it is.
Yep.
So you can I don't know if you've ever been, but you're close enough to the coast where it's very cool and comfortable. You can open up your windows and really enjoy that airflow in there. There's the second bedroom. So it's got this kind of large L shape to it. So it would make easily for a couple $1,000, you could put that and the one that the model matched to this with the third bedroom, it sold for like $15,000 more, and it wouldn't cost that much to put your own, separate that and make your own third bedroom yourself. So if you're looking, and this has got one of the larger backyards in the whole complex, they put some beautiful stamped concrete back there. It is a great home. And we went ahead and just reduced the price a little bit. Call us for any details on that. We'd love to show that to you and get our friends' homes sold.
Absolutely.
Let's see, what else we got? Williamsburg price drop, Jeremy, Warner.
Yep.
We still have our property kind of in the Fresno High area on Safford.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I know that a big segment of the population is high risk. The older people, they're considered higher risk for the COVID-19. We have a listing in the Woods Mobile Home Park, which is a 55 and older community. It is a wonderfully updated home. It's really beautiful. It's been painted inside and out. It's got all, you can just move in there and live out the rest of your days in comfort. Listen, we just reduced the price to $89,000, and we are looking for a buyer. So if you know anybody that is looking to get into a nice, comfortable home, we'd love to show it to them.
Yeah, a lot of people get to that point where they're ready to downsize. And then with all the community features out there, that clubhouse and the swimming pool and stuff, hey, it's a very active lifestyle. If you want to sit back and chill in your home, fine. But you have a lot of options right there in your backyard. So it's really
Yep. Well, hey, listen, we've gone a little longer than normal. We really wanted to have Chris on and speak to everybody about the critical nature and issues about solar. But we're going to sign off now.
Yeah, we were going to talk about our the pathway to becoming a millionaire through rental property. We're going to resume that next week. It's probably a little bit longer subject matter. So we're going to work this out, whether we're going to have a guest on next week or if we're going to take a little bit more time to talk real estate. Until then, folks, thanks for watching. And please send us some comments. Send us what you want to talk about. Keep watching and share us.
Absolutely. Like, share, and